Hello, my name is Piers Chappell from Galvo Shredders, and in this video we're going to look at the different types of paper shredder that are available. So there are basically two types of paper shredder that you can buy. The first is the ribbon or strip cut shredder. This shredder cuts paper into long, thin strips of paper. You'll find that an A4 sheet is cut into approximately 40 strips of paper, so quite long, thin pieces. And even though this is kind of relatively hard to put together, as you can see, it's not going to be impossible to get those 40 pieces and lay them out and reconstruct a sheet of paper. The second type of paper shredder is the confetti or crosscut shredder, and this one cuts both horizontally and vertically into small pieces. Now you've got several types. They go from kind of cross cut through micro cut up to crypto cut, and this just means that the particles get smaller and smaller, and you'll find that an A4 sheet is cut into 200 approximately pieces at the very low end, more like the P3 type security level. And if you go up to the crypto cut, the P6 is the P7, so very secure levels, then you'll end up with a sheet of paper being rendered into 12,000 plus pieces of paper, so extremely fine paper, and therefore very, very hard to put back together again. So what are the pros and cons then of the strip cut shredder? Well, they're great for low confidentiality information, so not everything that we have needs to be rendered into minute little pieces that are very difficult to put back together. They're certainly cheaper to buy, and they're also cheaper to own than a crosscut shredder because they're much simpler as a mechanism. They're just cutting one way. They're much more able to handle somebody putting in extra or too much paper. This is especially important in an office environment, for instance, where somebody might put in a lot more than the stated maximum for a shredder. And also, the strip cut shredder will generally last a lot longer than a cross cut shredder, just because of its simpler mechanism and also this ability to handle overstuffing, as we call it. Now, on the con side, strip cut shredders only offer a fairly low security, so they start off at the very basic P1 level, which is really, not that secure, running up to P3, which is pretty good for everyday use, and should keep most of your documents secure. It's going to take quite a lot of work to piece back together a P2 or a P3 type document and fill it. The other disadvantage here is that the waste bin fills up more quickly because these strips of paper take up more space. So what are the pros and cons of the crosscut shredder? Well, on the advantage side, you really have to have a crosscut shredder if you're dealing with sensitive or confidential information. A strip cut shredder is you just can't get to the levels of confidentiality. So what we have with the crosscut is that it can handle security levels P3 to P7. Now P3, as we've mentioned before, is a pretty good level to be for the household. Now if we're into super sensitive corporate information, then we'll want to be around the P5, P6 level. Certainly government and top secret type information would be at P7. The waste that you get out of the crosscut shredder is much, much smaller and therefore compacts into the bin, and you just don't need to empty that bin so often. This can be really good again in an office where a lot of people are using the shredder and you don't want to be emptying it all the time. Now, as far as disadvantages for the crosscut shredder, they're more expensive to buy and also a little bit more expensive to maintain, because they do need to be handled a little bit more carefully to make sure that they don't jam, and they'll also need a bit more oiling as well than a strip cut. So in summary, buy a strip cut shredder when low security shredding is fine, cost is a factor, or it might be in an environment where the shredder won't be treated that kindly. And for a crosscut shredder, these are really perfect when higher security shredding is needed, and also you want to minimize the number of times you're emptying the waste basket. I hope this has been useful. For more information, other articles, and also to buy shredders, please head over to www.galvoshredders.co.uk. Thank you.